Something else which stands out to me, not just in this particular case, but in recent years, I believe, um, the age of the candidates, which is often a taboo point, certainly internationally more and more, but certainly also in Japan. I think many of the candidates that we were talking about were in their 50s. And I was wondering how you feel, how you think about age in general in terms of hiring.
Well, in general, I don't have any bias related to the age. But of course, you need to evaluate carefully position by position. Whether age might be a huge factor in terms of experience and knowledge, and also sometimes balance. The more accomplished the person is, therefore, you expect to have a person which is really uh, can bring a very positive contribution to the organization. Sometimes what the downside is that, especially like when in our case, you sometimes require people to change their industry because, as I mentioned before, our industry is very small and the large majority of our candidates come from different industry. And then you need to have the ability to switch from a different mindset. And sometimes, I would say sometimes, not in general, but sometimes, and certainly for certain position, candidates might find difficult to change their mindset depending on their age. But still, again, it's a case by case situation. I don't want to make any rule over there. But let's say that for certain position, we need to evaluate carefully the age factor. That's something that is very important, in my opinion.
Great. And then going back to this specific hiring, we did actually hit a stumbling block halfway through. We thought we had our guy, and then for personal reasons, the candidate had a rethink, and we had to reset as a team, if you like, myself and yourself. How was your experience of dealing with that that sudden piece of information and needing to restart the search?
Well, that's part of the game. I mean, there's really nothing you can do about it. I mean, you have to consider that during the recruitment process, and especially the more valuable is the candidate, and the more possible is that the candidate, he or she, is hunted by many other companies. So being aware of that, um, I think that the ability of both the recruiter and the company who is interviewing the candidates is to keep the candidate motivation cheered up. I think that for all the process, it's very important that the candidate feels that the company is interested in him or her, and to feel the motivation to join this company. It's easy to say, not always easy to do, but I think that when you find a good candidate, sometimes unfortunately there are time restrictions for which you cannot you're not able, I mean, to hurry up the recruitment process as much as you would like to. But at least during this period, it is very important to keep the motivation of the candidate and to keep it in a way bounded to your position. Okay, I'm doing another interview, but actually my first option is your company. That's what ideally you have to do. Sometimes you succeed, sometimes you fail, and sometimes, unfortunately, it doesn't work well. As you might remember very well, in one case, we had one very good candidate, which we were about to finalize with this person, and eventually he decided to go for another company. But that's life. I mean, that happens. And by the way, we are more than happy with the candidate that we found afterwards. So it is still okay.
Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, the actual turnaround from that, I'm trying to think back, but I guess it must have been about 6 weeks, maybe, from the disappointing news to then the candidate who is now working in the job signing the offer letter. So I'm pleased personally to have had the speed to be able to turn that around and to bring the candidate to you, and happy to hear that she's doing well.
Absolutely. Well, as usual, you never have to give up. Of course, there might be downturns, and especially sometimes when a very good candidate leaps out of your hand, you might feel a little bit disappointed, but you never have to keep yourself disappointed and move on. And I think that especially when there is this kind of situation where, again, there was a very good mutual understanding about the type of candidate that we are looking for. I was still very confident that despite of this temporary setback, we would have been able to find another good candidate. And eventually we did.
Great. And then just a word from yourself about working with FocusCore, both then and now and on into the future.
Well, we are more than happy than working with FocusCore. I mean, this experience has been definitely a successful one, and I think that we truly appreciated your professional approach and your ability to understand the needs of the client, which is, again, might be simple to say, but always really simple to achieve. And this, of course, creates the basis for also future collaboration in the recruitment process. So I think that the way the recruitment process was managed, was handled, could be a good base also for the future recruitment that might occur, and we might be still needing to find new people. And then, of course, our natural choice will be again to try to work together with you.
Great, I'd love to. Thank you very much.